Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 143 on the very last day of July, 2019. Why do you say woo?
Because that means I got 1 month left before school starts again.
Oh, no,
I got stuff to do.
Sad. Oh, I'm like, summer's almost over. But that being said, I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, Clyde.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Evening to all.
Hola to the both of you.
Hello.
And Wabbit, where are we going? You'll have to stick around to find out.
Nowhere good, I'll tell you that.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh, fine.
Although, I mean, we got all the funny out in the pre-show, so, or actually a lot of it before we even went live. So, if you're hoping for an entertaining episode,
sorry, we just ran out. We're all dry.
Yeah, see, that's why you got to show up early. So what's
Actually,
going on?
It's true. Before we even started streaming, we had 2 comedy gold moments, and they are gone in the ether. They are never coming back. It's too bad. They were excellent.
Yeah.
You know.
And we are competing with Jerry, but unfortunately he's restreaming commentary over something I have absolutely no interest in. So, oh well.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
you know, that's fine. It's interesting that you can stream that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I agree.
It's just not for me. So, that being said, what are we here to talk about?
Well, you know, we're here to talk about AT&T. AT&T has decided to rebrand DirecTV. So DirecTV is dead.
DirecTV Now.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Forgive me. You're absolutely right. DirecTV Now is dead. Long live AT&T TV Now. How many T's is that? AT&T
TV Now.
AT&T T.
Okay. I was okay with this until we got to the now. If it was just AT&T TV, okay. That makes sense.
But it's funny because DirecTV actually only had one TV in there because Direct with the C ends with the capital TV at the end. They abridged one T. So they're putting an extra T into this one? It just doesn't seem right to me.
They should just change the company to AT and TV.
Yeah.
That should just be the company now.
Well, it's American
American
Telegraph
Telegraph and Television.
Okay, forget the telephone part.
Well, I mean, AT&T stands for American Telegraph and Telephone, but we don't have telegraph anymore, so they could make it American Telephone and Television.
It's telephone.
Yeah.
And that rolls off the tongue.
I agree.
Yeah, Wabbit is right. It's telephone and telegraph.
Oh, okay, so change the telegraph to TV, then that's
right. Yeah. I agree. I think that's an excellent choice. Well, anyways, they've decided to make the change. It is apparently already, the rebranding is already starting to appear. If you, I would say, if you launch the app, you will see internally that the name has changed, but still has some work to be moved to be more universal. But
and I was just finally coming to grips with the name
DirecTV
HBO
Now.
Max, and now they had to go and make something else ridiculous.
Well, you know, so right now the fun things to add to the end of your product to know it's something like for the internet is Now, Plus, Max, and
well, they're forcing the Max thing.
They're not the only ones.
Well, they were. I wouldn't say they were the first. Somebody else's, but you know, okay. So we a little bit of a side jag. When we talked about HBO Max before, my big reason for not liking it was because it felt confusing between HBO and Cinemax because I thought Cinemax was owned by CBS like Showtime. Now that I realize that Cinemax and HBO are essentially going to be in the same thing, the name makes perfect sense now.
Okay, because
I mean, what's your other
together.
option? Cinebio?
Ooh,
no,
that's a bad name.
yeah, exactly. So if you do HBO Max, and you do the Cinemax and HBO together, okay, that actually is logical, right?
You know what would be a cool name for this service, though?
What?
You ever notice the AT&T logo, how it looks like the Death Star?
Oh, the round one does.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
intentional.
it looks like the Death Star, right? So wouldn't it be cool if they could name it Death Star TV?
DSTV.
Death Star TV. The start.
Well, no, they DSTV, but they'll
Yes.
come up with digital set top something. They'll come up with another thing, but everyone will know it's Death Star.
Yeah, Death Star TV. I don't know.
They should
Anyway,
I mean, one of these days they'll put up their own satellite, and it's probably going to be codenamed, at least internally, the Death Star.
yeah.
They would have to be the empire of their what they do. Yeah.
Well, now that they own HBO, they kind of have an empire.
Well,
Between
hey,
HBO, Warner, Turner, telephone, all the telephones, half the internet.
So
I'd say they have an empire.
So is the title of this service going to be AT&T TV Now, or is it just
Yes.
TV Now?
No, it's AT&T TV Now.
well, just to be more confusing or less, probably more. Also, AT&T is launching a fourth streaming service. This one's called AT&T TV.
Which makes sense.
But you just said AT&T TV Now. AT&T TV is going to be its own set-top using service in limited markets that is going to be looked at to be introduced in the coming weeks with more details. But they're deciding to put this alongside DirecTV Now, which is now known as AT&T TV Now, HBO Max, which is their thing, Watch TV, which is still a thing, and now we're having to deal with AT&T TV Now. No, AT&T TV, not now.
I give
Sans
up.
now.
I give up. I quit. I'm done.
All I could say is AT&T branding. It's I know you really love your own personal brand, but if you have too many products in the same thing, I know that concept of having two different products that you make people think are competing with each other, but they aren't.
HBO and Cinemax.
HBO and Cinemax, Duracell and Energizer. They're not really competing.
They're not the same.
Want to bet?
No.
Yeah.
It's an artificial. There are. I don't know if those are, but I think those are.
Endgame and Avatar.
Democrats and Republicans.
No, those are definitely
Republicans and Republicrats. Is that what you're?
Right.
Republicrats. I'm all for the Republicrats. That sounds excellent. Yeah. Well, so again, AT&T is going to be coming out with a new Android TV powered set-top box in order to provide a custom streaming service for limited areas. This sounds like something that they are going to provide to customers of their internet service. So,
but it's not. It's not. The box isn't required. It's just something that they can use to give a custom, like presentation. So, which is cool.
Yeah. AT&T, I liked you better when you were singular.
Yeah.
But
it was. But originally it was AT&T.
I've seen that circular graph. I have.
Right. It all used to be Mall Bell, right?
Which was turned into AT&T, which was broken up into multiple mini bells. Of the mini bells, Singular was one of them, who started eating up all the little mini bells until it bought all of them, including AT&T, and rebranded itself AT&T. That's how we got here.
Yep. You got it.
All right, LG. LG. People here like LG products. Don't you wish you could have yourself a gigantic 10-foot LG TV?
Are you talking a short throw? Because
I-
ever since we saw those at CES a couple years ago, yes.
Well, that's
Absolute
what this
yes.
is. This is LG's Cinebeam. It is a short throw 4K projector. It is only a mere $6,000, which means you can set this thing very close to your wall. It'll go up at a very short range. I think it's like 7.2
Basically
inches. It'll give
vertical.
you a 120-inch diagonal, which is 10 feet. And so that means it's a gigantic screen. And of course, with all projectors, you can go further back and refocus and make it even bigger. This is your wall.
Not really. These short throw are meant to be right up against the
Right.
wall.
Yes, but you can actually make them a bigger as well.
Yeah, you do the adjustment.
You don't want to get
in
too far
the
away.
thing. It changes its aperture for your wall. You can't really move it because it shoots basically straight up.
Yeah.
So if you slide it away from the wall, you're not going to get a bigger picture.
Yes, you will. I've dealt with these before, and you can totally make it bigger to a point. The problem is you lose a lot of the light, the reflection of the light, so it doesn't. It's not as bright the bigger you go, so you can't do it so big.
Up to 10 feet, so that's $600 a foot. So can I just give them $600 and get a 1 foot version of this?
Call your local LG representative and ask him that. I don't know, but
They just give me a handful of pixels.
just
Here you go.
pixel dust. Just sprinkle it in your hand. There you go.
You think about it, that's about the price of a smartphone, right?
Yeah. Actually, that's $1,000. $100 now for 6 inches. No,
600 for a foot.
yeah.
Per foot. Yeah. Figure that's what about the size of a tablet, right?
I guess you're right. That's
an
about right.
expensive tablet. Never mind. I absolutely love these. These are laser projectors. And I've ever since I saw the first one a couple years ago, I've been obsessed, and I want one, and still out of my price range.
Yeah, I wonder. Are you going to need a good surface to display this on at 4K?
Yes, typically you can't use a regular screen because the bevels in the screen have to be tuned properly to pick up the light. So you need a special screen to allow that looks at the light coming up as opposed from normally from the front.
Yeah. And a lot of people with the short throws, they like to point it at their wall, and if you have a textured wall at that resolution.
And that's why a lot of the companies have been packaging a screen with it. So
cool.
like the ones from TCL and Changhong and Hisense that we had seen before, they were like 10 grand, but then you also get a screen.
Very cool.
So it's just like, okay. Because you're probably going to pay a couple grand just for the screen. And it needs to be, like I said, tuned properly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Makes my OLED purchase seem better now, doesn't it?
It depends. How big is your OLED?
65.
So half the size. Don't worry, it's actually just fine.
Depends. Yeah.
It's just fine. All right. Pew Research has come back and decided to let people know that YouTube has a lot of videos, and you know what's most popular? Kids and video games. Especially in the States, the kids stuff is like 3 times more popular than anything else. If you have something that has kids in it or is talking about kids, apparently that is the thing that most people like to watch. And the video game stuff is also extremely popular, especially around the world. If you look outside the United States, so
this just got really creepy. Considering, okay, I want to know what is the percentage of viewers that are under 18. Because if the ratio is skewed more towards adults, then that means adults enjoy watching videos that feature children. Makes you start to kind of feel icky.
It's videos aimed at or featuring children. So if you have kids, you have cartoons on there. They're still extremely popular. They're designed for kids. So they're just extremely popular on there. So I understand the creep factor that you're feeling, and I don't think that's anybody's intent. But yeah, I would be. I'm guessing that this will be something that will come up in a few years about what are people actually watching.
Well,
on
I mean,
YouTube?
and yeah, I mean, I came to the realization a long time ago that people are terrible in general. So usually you can expect the worst. And
Mm,
it's probably right.
okay. It's interesting to see what's actually popular on YouTube. So I'm starting a new YouTube channel starring my kid at playing video games.
There you go.
Maybe actually, we'll see about that. We'll see. Regal Cinemas. We had a story last week or the week before
Oh.
about the fact that they are looking to start their unlimited package, but we didn't have very many details. We now have many more details. This is the package that, if depending on which package you buy, you get many of the theaters, almost all the theaters, and every one of the theaters, starting from, I believe it's from $18 going all the way up to almost $25.
$23.50. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that's totally fair. I mean, even like if you live in an area that has Regal, most likely you're primarily going to go to one theater. It's
Right.
probably the theater that's close to your house, and it is by virtue the theater you like to go to. And the the limited selection package seems pretty good, but even at $23.50,
That's a reasonable price.
yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely.
unlimited movies. But here's some of the things you should know. You will get 10% off any concessions.
Good.
There are no blackout dates. You
Awesome.
can go ahead and do it anytime you like. You do have to pay extra for special things like 3D or
Yeah.
things like that. You get a free bucket of popcorn, free soda on your birthday,
Woohoo.
and so
And you also earn loyalty credits for your Crown Club.
But here's the one thing that makes it kind of weird, if you ask me. There's a 50-cent surcharge for
That's
each movie.
processing fee. They charge you. If I were to book through online through any theater around here, I'm going to pay like $2 or $3 service fee.
I get
so
that.
50 cents is fine.
Well, they just include it in with the price.
Exactly. Why
Well,
didn't they?
it's
eat
because
this
if they include it with the price, people are going to complain because they're like, hey, I am only going to see 3 movies. Why are you charging me? Or they're going to miss out on the 50 cents from each movie when the guy sees a movie every day, So that's not really a flat fee kind of thing, because it really depends on your usage. So yeah, 50-cent convenience fee, whatever.
I don't know.
You see one movie,
okay.
you see one movie or 2 movies, you break even on your 18, and then you paid $1. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, can I go see a movie? And you give a kid 2 quarters.
I remember when the movies cost just 50 cents. Period.
Yeah. Apparently, they used to be a dime for my parents. So go to the movies for a dime.
Yeah,
Here's a
I
nickel. Call somebody who cares.
I remember when it was a quarter, but yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you love watching your Netflix and your YouTube, because guess what? If you are watching it if you're in your Tesla, you can now watch those on your Tesla screen
Soon.
right now. Apparently, will be soon. It's coming very soon for those two, but only when the car is not driving. Although it looks like they're working on making it work so when you are driving, once that becomes an available thing, and the autonomous driving is something that they can do. That means, you can get your Netflix and your YouTube on there. Is there internet built into these cars?
Yes.
There is. Yes.
You have to pay for it?
No.
Okay.
But
Tesla, watch a movie.
Okay. So
if you buy the certain model, I think it's not included. It's included. If you buy the long range or the premium model, then it's included. If you buy just the standard model, I don't think it is. I think that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. So this won't work when you're driving
Nope, not yet.
until they're not going to enable it until full self-driving is approved by regulators.
Right.
But I think you're still going to run into problems in areas where there are laws that you can't have any video playing on any screen when the car is in motion, whether you're in control or not. I think that's going to be an even longer fight to get
those.
allowed for self-driving, because when you're driving by, the cop doesn't know if the car is in self-driving or not.
Right.
So
That's a good point.
So I think I don't think that's gonna fly, even when self-driving is approved by regulators, because unless you've got a big beacon on the outside of your car that says self-driving, you know.
Well, for me, it'll be simple. When I am getting in my car, my self-driving car, obviously I'm going to get in the back seat.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna allow that.
Well, see, yeah, Tesla has what they call autopilot, which is different from the autonomous driving, right?
Yeah, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when the fully autonomous driving, because they're not going to enable it until full self-driving is approved by regulators.
They are going to enable it when you're parked very soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is one real little fact about that is that if you have a Model S or if you have a Model X, I think, or those two models are going to be in vertical screen mode, because that's the mode that's the way your screen is oriented on those models. So sucks to be you.
So I'm looking at it now on Tesla's site. So yeah, the in-car internet streaming music and media is included in with the car.
Forever. Can I tap into that with my with my Wi-Fi device and get free internet off of in my house?
I'm sure it's only LTE.
But that's fine. I don't care. It's free internet.
Probably only works when the car is on. So you're gonna leave your car on all the time.
Man, loopholes.
I know, right?
And I'll hack it. I make it so it thinks it's on, but it's not.
Maybe.
Well, YouTube TV is going to be picking up the PBS stations. They've made a deal with PBS in order to get the PBS and PBS Kids stations and their on-demand content available on their different systems. Each different local station will be able to opt into doing this or not. But it looks like this is the first time that PBS has decided to go onto any of the streaming platforms. So this is good, because when we were looking at our different streaming platforms, this is one of the things that, of course, we're like, well, actually, we do like some PBS shows, and we would like to get some of that on there if we can get it. But it's good that we're actually seeing it now. It is going to be on YouTube TV first, and check YouTube TV to see if your local station is going to be available for you.
Congrats, YouTube TV. You bagged the PBS.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some, every once in a while PBS has a really good show on that I want to watch, and it's not available anywhere else. And so I'm kind of happy that this is going to be the thing. Like, for example, the only place you could get Sherlock was on TVS until it finally came out on Netflix for you to watch as well. But this is Nova. I haven't watched Nova in a long time. I love Nova.
PBS is how I got into the Canadian show Republic of Doyle, and it was awesome. And I watched all of the seasons.
Oh yes, and comedy. I agree. There's lots of good comedy on many PBS shows.
Dr. Martin.
I don't think I've seen Dr. Martin.
Oh, you should. I think you'd like it.
There's so much stuff that I could watch.
I think you'd like it. It's a British show.
Oh, I love British humor.
Mm-hmm. And it's a doctor. He was a surgeon, but he developed a quirk where he can't see blood. So he couldn't be a surgeon. So he ended up moving to some little tiny town, like where his family was from.
Is it Doc Martin,
Yes, Doc Martin.
like the shoes?
Or it might be Doctor. I don't remember. It's
It
been
looks like
forever.
medical comedy drama, and it's still going, and they still have new seasons
Oh, it's
coming.
still going? I thought it was done. Oh, then I have like
Apparently,
6 seasons probably to follow up on because I watched it like 10 years ago.
it looks like it is still, the releases are still present on it. So
It's a quirky little town, and he's the big city guy trying to deal with the quirks of the little village, and yeah, he doesn't fit in.
yeah, Cool.
Sounds pretty interesting.
It is.
Very cool. Hey, if you're a Vizio TV owner and you are hoping to get AirPlay 2, looks like they've started rolling out updates to their various to their television platforms, especially if you have one of the ones that are, what is it called, SmartCast models. Any of the SmartCast models dating back to 2016 are getting the update that includes the AirPlay 2 and HomeKit compatibility,
All right.
which is awesome. The LG one last week we were talking about LG turning that on for their 2019 models, but Jimmy, you don't have a 2019 model. I'm sorry.
Well, he doesn't have oh, yeah, LG, you're right.
But this time, Vizio 2000, all those old ones, that's not bad. Good job, Vizio.
Rock on.
Yeah, it's. Did I skip a story? That is a question.
Yeah, but,
I did.
I do want to say, looking at this picture though, I love the fact that they're talking about adding Apple AirPlay, but the picture shows a Google Home connected right below the TV. I don't think I don't think that household is going to be using
Is that
AirPlay
an Amazon Alexa to the right there?
Yes, it is. But I mean, Amazon Alexa is agnostic. But
So
I
is
mean, if
Google.
you've got a Google Home in your house, that means you're Android users, and
No.
you're probably not gonna.
No, Google Homes are fairly agnostic too. You can use them with every other device just fine. In fact, I would say if you're an Amazon Echo user, you're less agnostic. You're pretty much guaranteed to be an Amazon Prime member and all that.
Yeah, but Amazon doesn't make phones. So
Not anymore.
you could have either, is what I'm saying, if you've got an Echo. Whereas if you are an Android user, you're likely to get the Google Home. And
I guess you're right.
If you're an iPhone user, you're likely to get the Apple thing. That's all that I was saying. So.
All right, well, I'll go back a story and say that, hey, guess what? Hulu Live is they've got their TV service on every single platform out there, right? Well, until now, they didn't have it on Android TV.
Nope.
So they've finally pressed that checkbox on the compile program and decided to release it for Android TV. Is out there, just as Clyde has lost faith in the platform.
Well, I haven't lost faith in the platform. I've never lost faith in the platform. I have just been super annoyed by stupid crap like this from the developers.
Well, now if you want, you can pull that Android TV back out from wherever you threw it and plug it back in and get your Hulu Live service.
Although this is the one thing that I didn't care about because I don't subscribe to Hulu Live. I just subscribe to regular Hulu. But I mean, normal Hulu was on there before.
Oh, okay.
This is the live TV.
Ah, okay.
So,
I always thought those were the exact same app everywhere, and apparently no.
Nope.
They just never updated. That makes horrible sense.
Yes,
Okay.
They never did update their app until to include the live, is what it was.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Which means Android users have been suffering, or Android TV users have been suffering, and it's about freaking time, Hulu.
Makes you wonder why. Why did it take so long?
Well, I mean, why did it take so long for HBO to create a streaming app in the first place?
Yeah.
And that's been the rant that I keep going on over and over, is because the only difference, they already have the app for the phone. It's the same app on your phone as on the TV. You just add a couple lines of code to tell the app that remote input from a remote is okay. Mm-hmm. That's all they have to do. And they just won't do it.
And check a box. You have to check a box.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You
compile
have to check a box.
Compile for this platform. And
yes, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not like they have to design a whole new app. because the phones have just as good, if not better, resolution than most TVs. So if it plays on your phone, it'll be fine on the TV.
I would argue that there are probably some niceties you could do, making it a little bit more 10-foot friendly versus phone friendly. But yeah, it's not enough to just say, hey, we are going to, you could simply say, hey, we're going to release this in beta. It is literally a port of the phone app. We are working on a better app for the future. But here you go. Everybody would have gone, great.
Yeah.
And maybe a year down the road, they would have been, have you got that updated app yet? But we're happy we still have something.
Yeah.
So it would have been fine.
Exactly.
Hey, guess what's not fine? If you are one of those lucky folks out there that are able to get a streaming their local channels through Locast, the big major channels have just all decided to join forces and sue them. The CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox are making a case against Locast, saying that they are basically stealing the signal from them, and you should not be allowed to do this rebroadcasting of the signal. Locast has created their service in a way in order to try to align with the laws. They're trying to do it to create their service as being a nonprofit, free service, trying to make sure that they follow all the current laws. And just like we saw with Aereo, they are probably going to be taken to the Supreme Court. And if I know how things usually go, they will probably be sued out of existence.
So, I mean, one other thing that lawsuit alleges is that Locast exists to help AT&T and Dish avoid paying to carry broadcast content. Which
really?
Yes. That is like one of the main allegations in the lawsuit. I thought that was so. I mean, didn't AT&T and Dish both back? They backed Locast, I thought, but at least one of them did, and
they're subsidizing it according to
exactly. They're subsidizing it.
And I guess I can understand maybe here's how the argument I guess would work. Hey, we need to be paid for our service through your dishes and through your dishes, because obviously you're rebroadcasting our service. Never mind the fact that it's possible that we just can't reach those people anyways, and but they're still in our area, so that's what we should get our money for this. And now you are letting this rogue company, which is taking that broadcast service and giving it to people over the internet. And this is evil, and how could you dare you ever do this? And
Dish did make an official statement that they have no more links to Locast than we do with the over-the-air antennas. But we continue to believe that consumers deserve a choice when it comes to how they receive their local broadcast channels, whether through satellite retransmission, over-the-air antennas, or through other legal means. And I completely agree with that.
Hey, guess what? I have a friend. He just bought a house. You know what he has for internet out there?
Nothing.
Crap.
Yeah.
He is on the waiting list to get a 10 megabit per second DSL.
Yep.
He can't get anything. So guess what? He's also in a valley where he can't get any type of television service on anything. So he has to go Dish. And that's a pain in the butt, because he's surrounded by trees, so he has to really find it a hard to reach place to put the dish. He's going through all kinds of trouble to get television because he'd love to stream, but he can't. He'd love to get it over the air.
Well, even if so, okay. In that scenario, Locast wouldn't be good for him either.
No. So, in this case, the dish is the best option. And guess what? All things are considered. Everybody has different ways of getting their streams. I know you like your rebroadcasting fees, and I totally get it. But at the same time, your service is supposed to be over the air free to everybody. If you're in their area, quite frankly, if somebody has an alternative method of getting to it, it makes sense for them to be able to use that alternative method.
So, Jesus. I mean, and they weren't called out, but Comcast is part of this. Is it NBC? But
okay,
NBC is owned by Comcast, so
gotcha.
So this is I mean, we knew this was going to come eventually. I'm really surprised it took this long for the lawsuits.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree. It was there for a while.
But I mean, yeah, I mean they started last year, so yeah, I have faith that they'll probably weather this storm because the complaints sound super petty. I think they're just trying to. I think they're just trying to just. The lawsuit isn't winnable by the companies that launched it. I think their only hope is that they drain the coffers at Locast and force them to shut down
You know,
because they run out of money in
I,
legal
I
defense
thought the
fees.
same thing was true for Aereo because you were renting your own personal antenna. That's how that you did that one. But apparently,
That one was a bit more sketchy.
but if I did rent an antenna on somebody's roof, would I get in trouble for it?
I mean, like I said, that one technically is
It's a rebroadcast of a
that one
signal.
was super gray area. But whereas
But
Locast is like by the books.
right,
Like it,
I guess the thing is that they are for profit. Aereo was a
mhm.
for profit company, and this one is literally not for profit. You can get it for free. You do not
Yes.
have to do anything.
Nope.
Of course, they want your donation. They like that
Oh,
they say,
absolutely.
hey, it costs us money to do this. Not a lot, but if your donation would help, if you'd like to help,
But
me,
like I
that's
said,
awesome.
in this case, I don't think the lawsuit is intended to actually be won.
Hmm.
I think it's mainly just to keep them paying legal defense fees and then drain all profitability because they are not a nonprofit, they are not for profit, which means they do draw paychecks.
Right.
And if they have to divert all of their cash flow to fighting these legal battles, then they're going to shut down. They're going to end up shutting down, and that's exactly what CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox want.
Hmm.
Just being
Well,
the bullies.
I hope that in this case you're right, Clyde, and I hope that my initial sour feelings about what could happen here. I hope that you're right in this, that it's a that Locast can hang in there
Oh, I
and get
don't
to the
think they're
point where
gonna.
this. You
That's
don't
what
think
I'm
so?
saying. I don't
Oh,
think. No,
great.
that's why I'm saying I don't think the case has merit, and it doesn't need merit. There, I believe Locast is going to end up shutting down because they run out of money,
Mm.
and
Okay.
that's going to be the tragedy. And that is
Well,
exactly what those companies are hoping.
I hope that's not true. But
But
Me too. But I mean, we've seen this kind of thing happen over and over and over. It's like, hey, yeah, we know we can't win this case, but we can definitely bury you and bankrupt you in the process.
but
So,
if they did have Tom Merritt, I think it would help.
oh,
no. Hey, Tom, if you happen to watch this show, want to volunteer for Locast? Then they could say, and we've got merit. But I don't know if Tom would do that. I don't know. Maybe he'd feel like he'd
no,
be
I know
willing to,
he's in favor.
put his
He's
name and maybe a picture into the cause.
I know
Just
he's a proponent for what they're trying to do. So yeah, I don't know. Fingers crossed. Everybody, before you go to bed, have a moment of silence for Lowcast, and
and if you want, watch Lowcast and donate some money. It's up to you.
absolutely,
Yeah.
That'd
they've
help their
got
cause.
legal fees they need to pay.
That's true.
Yep.
Hey, if you do have a Google, excuse me, a Dish receiver, it's now being enabled with Google's Assistant. Apparently, 6 months ago, they said that this is a thing they were working on. Apparently, they previously had support for Amazon's Alexa, but now they are officially using the Google Assistant. I don't know if it's exclusive. Actually, it might just be an option, but they're also including new remotes for users with a dedicated Google Assistant button. Sounds like they're really pushing it hard. I wonder how much money Google pushed at them.
Good. I'm always happy to see more things become ubiquitous across platforms. So, rock on. Now,
Very
I can't think of the Hopper without thinking of those terrible commercials with the terrible Boston accents. So that the first thing that came into my mind, does the Amazon, or I mean the Android Assistant, come preloaded with a Southie accent?
South Bend. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He might have come with the South. With
No,
the
no,
South.
no. It's the Ka and
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Hopper.
Literally. Yeah. Okay. So literally Cambridge accent. Gotcha.
Well, it's Southie, South Boston, but
Yeah. It's all over Boston. It's not just South Boston.
well, the
Just so
South, yeah, the okay.
it's everywhere. Yeah, right. Facebook has their portal devices. You remember those? All 5 of you guys who purchased one. I'm sure you're enjoying it. I'm certain, I'm certain that Facebook has successfully sold at least some of these. They're making a new version of this. Apparently, it's coming out in about October. It'll be one that it hooks up to your existing TV, so it's just going to be the camera part. But this one apparently will also have the ability, since it's hooked up to your TV, to play things like Netflix and Disney's Plus streaming service and other things. So, hey, if you want, you can buy another box that will stream your
So
TV.
Facebook made a Kindle. How
Yeah,
cute!
a Kindle Fire, yeah.
How cute!
I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
Exactly.
I'd say I think Facebook is more delusional than Charles Manson. They're very dedicated to this fantasy that they've concocted about being a TV and like being a hub for entertainment. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I guess. What's the kid's name that runs Facebook?
Data from Star Trek?
No,
Mark Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, yeah.
Although I would call him Lore.
He's starting to look more and more like Galvin Belson now all the time, isn't he?
Well, isn't Gavin Belson mainly Zuckerberg placed in a Google-ish company?
Yeah, that's kind of, art imitating life, right?
I don't know who Gavin Belson is.
Oh,
I'm bringing
in
up the picture.
Silicon Valley. He's
Silicon
the
Valley.
CEO of Hulu, which is a
Hulu.
Google-ish company. And he's kind of the villain.
And apparently his signature is yeah.
Yes, that's what it looks
Oh, the
like
signature, yeah.
I just saw the signature
on the
and
box.
this is a real person, or this is a imaginary person for that show.
It's an imaginary person.
This is a
for the
fictional
show.
character. Genius, guys. I
you know,
love
It's a fictional character. Yeah.
no
I
problem.
would be willing to give you a guest pass to HBO so that you can watch Silicon Valley.
I have HBO.
Oh, you need to watch Silicon Valley. The first couple seasons were great. I'm kind of glad that
Without
they're
the
finishing it.
kids. Without the kids.
Of course
yes.
not. Yeah, of course not.
But all right. Yeah, we can probably end this here.
All right, all right. Well, that was the news for the week, guys.
Which then brings us to the point where we like to thank all of you out there that find value in this chicanery that we present every week and try to pass off as actual entertainment. To all of you that are patrons that support us at the VOD or patreon.com/the VOD Squad, we thank you. You are awesome, and you are definitely our favorites. If you too would like to support us, yeah, head on over to Patreon. Give us some money. That's it.
Put it simply. Whatever. If you want, just go ahead. Head over. Give us money.
We're not asking for anything, but we won't turn down anything either.
Yeah,
so.
but if you want to, anyways, we're here for you. We are We are that wishing fountain. You can plunk your coins in there and make a wish. It might come true.
Yeah, think there's got to be probably some terrible investment that you were thinking about making.
Oh, yeah,
We'll save
we're
you
much
that
better
humiliation. Just throw it our way, and you feel good about
Right.
it.
That's the brand we want. We're better than a bad investment.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? I think that's going to be our
It's our,
catchphrase going forward.
we're going to have a catchphrase, better than a
we're
bad
better
investment?
than a bad investment.
Okay.
Not necessarily a good investment, but we're better than a bad investment. So, all right. With that, why don't we check in with the big voice Jay?
Excellent.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of July 29th, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. Tell you what, I'm never going fishing with Skrillex again. All day long, he just kept dropping the bass. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Game Night's in last place with $211.7 million. Team Divide Squad's in fifth place with $359.8 million. Team Average Drinks in fourth place with $775.4 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming moves to third place with $827.2 million. Team Merger Miseries in second place with $983.4 million. And in first place, it's Team Movie Party with $1,256.4 million. Let's just Dream Team Movie Draft Minute. All totals are record as of July 31st, 2019.
Well, I think it's officially over.
Well,
There will
no,
be
we
no
still have
more changes. I mean, in order to catch or to pass Have a Drink, you guys need Hobbs and Shaw to make like 450 million.
Yeah, it would have to blow it out in order to make it happen. I mean, it probably not going to be. I mean, it is going to be a big hit for us, but it's not going to be that big of a hit, I don't think.
But you will be comfortably above game night when you're done. I'd say you're probably going to hit like 500 million. So.
Yeah. Game Night's definitely. Well, Game Night doesn't have any movies left,
No,
so
they're done.
Yeah.
They've been
We're-
done. And that's why I say.
we're probably going to be stuck right here. It's obviously.
We're gonna make a couple of $100 million probably off that movie. I'm sure.
I'm guessing we're going to at least make 200 million out of it, but over the time.
Yeah.
Right.
It could.
What I was getting at is even though you're just above game night, at least you can be numerically distant from them.
Yeah. Yes, that would be nice. I agree.
Right.
Because right now,
Fighting
now
for
you're
fourth place would be nice.
Yeah,
We're too close to Game
you're
Night and
just
their
like
horrible
100 million and change away from them right now, which is not a place you want to be.
Amazingly, Lion King is still raking in the money. They're getting up to 400 million now.
So I'm curious if DKG is going to be able to catch Ritual Misery.
That's a good question because they're not
They
that far
only
off.
need another 100 and let's say 60 million.
And they still have Toy Story 4 as well, trickling in the millions.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just need another 160 and they could take second place.
But Ritual Misery still does have Spider-Man still, and
but
that's probably still
tail.
I think
We're in the
Toy
tails.
Story 4 and Spider-Man will probably equal each other out. So the question is, can the Lion King push another 100 million?
I mean, they did 76 million this last week, so for the Lion King. So, I mean, do 2 more weeks of
Like half that.
half
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
It definitely could be close.
So
We don't
I think
know.
that right now is the race to watch. The race
Yeah.
for second. So,
DKG making a huge comeback.
yes.
A huge They were in 5th place. Not just a couple of weeks ago.
And I will give Ritual Misery credit for almost making this a 2-team over $1 billion summer.
Hey, who knows? They might make it.
They
You
might
never
make
know.
another 20 million, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's unlikely. But
All
yeah.
it needs is 17 million. They could do that.
Yeah.
They can do 17 million out of Spider-Man and what was the other one? No, that's it. Just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's a question. Can Spider-Man push them over the billion mark?
I don't know because I mean, Spider-Man's been out long enough that
I still
It's-
haven't seen it. I want to go see it.
Is
Who
it
knows?
still in theaters?
It was just came out July 5th, beginning of
Hmm.
this month.
Oh, I thought it came out the week before that. But that's still, we're going into August tomorrow, so it's a month ago.
Yeah.
It's been out for 4 weeks.
Who knows? I
Yeah.
mean, this is the time of the year where movies kind of hold on for a while because it's summertime. And people are like, "What movie you want to watch tonight?" Well, we could just watch that one last night, so let's go to this other one. And so some more money keeps trickling in. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
we'll definitely see.
So Fast and Furious is going to probably make us a decent amount of money, but not a lot.
I'd say you guys will probably see around 200.
I think that's
250.
fair.
I think would be
A good
the
showing.
limit. I wouldn't expect much more than that. So that's what I was saying. Around 200, give or take,
Right.
is
Mhm.
what I would expect for that.
And then, of course, It Chapter 2, way off in
I just
September.
need my 300 so that I can make $1.5 billion. I want to be the first team to $1.5 billion.
You know, that we're better than a bad investment also applies to our movie drinking. You know,
Yeah.
we're putting money in that. So,
The only thing is a bad investment is tax deductible.
is it?
It is.
But we're not.
Right.
We're not tax. Actually, if you give money to Patreon, I think you are tax deductible. It's a
Is that right?
donation,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah, I guess you could classify it as that. Yeah.
It's not considered a charity. It's a for-profit.
Okay, fine.
I don't know.
I don't
If
know. I
that's
am
the case,
not-
then I need to start itemizing because of all the money I pay out to Patreon every year.
That's true. Maybe you should check that out. All right.
But all right. Well, why don't we get into some rants and some raves? And I'm gonna try.
Ah!
It worked. I was not. That surprised me. I went to go click on the refresh real quick, and it was already working. Awesome.
Okay.
Rants, raves. Who's
All
got?
right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Give me.
Oh, yep. I'll go first. So last night I saw the movie Endgame, and
Never heard of it.
yeah. And speaking of the movie draft, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, the $1 billion movie.
856
although I will complain because you could have and you should have seen it in the theater. I get nothing from you watching it on whatever way you watched it.
Hey,
You robbed me of valuable winning.
true, but when I have a nice OLED television at home, it's hard to get out to the movies much anymore.
He
I
can't
mean,
afford movies because he spent all his money on the TV.
On the TV, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's how it is.
I know how that goes.
But so, and I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I will say that I liked it. They were some semi-tense moments in the movie. There were some sad parts in the movie. And then, there were some happy parts to it as well, right? I mean,
Wait, give away
that's
the entire
so-
movie, why don't you?
Yeah, it's sad. It's
so,
happy.
well,
Bad
I
things
mean-
happen. Good things happen.
I mean, it's going to be. I mean, I'm not. I'm trying to be as unspoilery as I can.
Without spoiling anything, I can say that the whole darn universe of movies, there's so many of them and so many of them, and they try to do this epic ending that is worthy of trying to like encapsulate all these movies into one big final ending. I'd say they at least marginally succeed, which by itself is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Depending on how you feel about certain parts of it, you might have feelings about how certain things went. But that being said, yeah, it was satisfying after watching so many Marvel movies for 10 years. So
yeah, I do like the job that they did in holding true to the characters, at least in the movie sense. Holding true to the characters. right, in the movie. They did it with the previous movie in this series too, you know, the Infinity War, right? So same thing there. So they hold that true into this movie as well, right? So
The only reason I've had any interest in seeing Endgame is because Ant-Man's in it. I really like Ant-Man.
And actually,
He is the first Marvel character that I am all in.
well,
I don't
yeah,
care.
I
I'm in.
I like Ant-Man. He you know, I saw it. I was late watching that movie,
Mhm.
right? Ant-Man, and I think I had read where, you know, a lot of people liked Ant-Man, and then they came out with Ant-Man and Wasp.
Mhm.
For some reason, they didn't like that, but I liked the
Oh,
movie.
I
I
thought
think
it was great. It was great.
yeah, so did I. I liked the Ant-Man and Wasp movie as well, right? I thought it was really good.
Although
the
my only complaint about Ant-Man and the Wasp is why is Hyundai not made that lever standard in the Veloster? Because I want that for my Veloster. So you're just driving around, you kept making the car bigger and smaller, you know,
Mhm.
as they're chasing.
Right.
Although I did hate them for what they did to that car. They made that thing hideous. That was the
Mhm.
ugliest Veloster I've ever seen.
See, what they just need to do for you is give you the option to have the handle, and all it does is the cool sound effect. But that's it. But the handle's there
Oh,
for
I
you.
could do that myself.
Okay.
I want a functional.
Yeah, they can't do that,
Yeah.
I'm sure they could. They did it in the movie. They did it for the
obviously.
movie.
And everything that
Yeah.
happens in the movies, they're all everything's true.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why they're called documentaries, right?
Yeah. So anybody that's not seen this movie yet, I mean, it's out on digital copy. That's how I watched it last night, and yeah, it's really worth a watch. Also, too, I don't think I mentioned this before, but you know, a couple of weeks ago, I went out to California, and on the plane ride back, I watched Captain Marvel. So I watched that movie as well on the plane. Enjoyed that one as well. Um, Endgame was a little better, I would say, than Captain Marvel if I had to, compare those two. But still, even Captain Marvel 2 was worth the watch. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'd recommend that one too.
Oh, I remember the one thing that made me super irked at Captain Marvel, other than the lack of any stakes, was the fact that they prominently featured the monorail in Los Angeles,
Yes, they
which
did.
didn't exist in the 90s.
Apparently, they made sure it would apparently just opened by the time that. Okay, that's what I understood
I
is that
mean, because if you
it was
remember, at
brand new.
that time in the 90s was before Speed. They hadn't even finished the subway. That they
Okay.
remember in Speed, they featured the fact that they were able to run into the subway uh, because it wasn't in use yet, and that was open way before the. I mean, that monorail wasn't until like the 2000s, and
Okay.
I confirmed that with Squid, who's a LA native,
Okay.
and yeah, and that right away I saw that and I went, and it took me completely out of the movie, and it's like, ugh, okay.
As far as the stakes in the movie, the stakes in the movie are nothing compared to any other ones. You're right. The stakes are.
It's
I'm
just
going to
like,
use a term, and I'm going to use a term, and it's intentional, but they're alien. The stakes are alien.
and then it caused a whole lot of continuity issues with a bunch of other stuff that I am aware of, because yeah, if if Nick Fury and Coulson met her in the 90s and learned about the Kree and everything else, then how did they not know about the Kree or any of them before Thor? And also, there was like an entire story arcs in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where those two characters are like, what the hell is a
Well,
Kree?
first of all, it's not a Kree. It's a scroll. Different
No,
thing.
she's Kree.
That's true. Oh, you're right. That's true.
Yeah, but they had never heard of the Kree. And then also the Kree were blue, but then now they're not.
I get that too.
And yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And it
Totally
was
understand.
just, it caused a lot of problems. And it was just like,
All right.
whatever.
Okay. Well, I have two things. I think maybe there's a third thing, but I can't remember what it was. The two things that I have is we watch we watch our shows, and one of the shows I've been talking about was the show called The Code. It's military JAG, Marines, and the kind of thing, and it's network television level of show, so nothing too crazy and out there. But they do decide to do interesting things in the show. They were canceled this season, so they went ahead and did what happens when things get canceled.
Did they finish it properly?
I'm really happy to say they actually had a nice buttoned up ending for it.
Cool.
All the strings were tied at the end, except for one string, one thing you could say, but what happened there? But it was basically resolved. There was only one thing where the African American gentleman, he's in a point in his life which kind of sucks. But the thing about that is basically resolved, and he's moving on. Everything else was basically, for the most part, it's clear that this show decided to try to do some interesting things. I liked it. It was very nice to watch, and because it's just one season and it has an actual ending to it, I can recommend it to people and say, know that this isn't going to be blow your socks off. It's not, some HBO special that's going to be, absolutely crazy. It's going to be your courtroom drama with military officers and that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a short little season. You can watch it, enjoy it, and be done with it. It's nice, actually, and I like the fact that it has a beginning and an end in how they were able to close it up. So I can't help but say, if you want something short and sweet, The Code is on Hulu right now, all the episodes. Cool. So feel free to
The Code, is that a reference to
the code of the
yeah, what was the one with Tom Cruise and
you're thinking of Code Red and the
you can't handle the truth,
and
right?
there was an episode that had a couple of references to that kind of thing. It really kind of like bothered me at first, but it's fine. But no, that is not the code that they're talking about. They're talking about the code of conduct and the code of ethics of a Marine officer.
Okay. So A Few Good Men is what that movie was. Right?
And this is A Few Good Men NBC style. I think it's NBC.
Okay.
The star of a code. But the other thing, so my wife said, "Oh, by the way, we had a really good deal on Amazon Prime. They were giving us CBS All Access for $5 a month for the first 3 months if we want to try it." I said, "Oh, that's great. Okay, we should do that." I was like, "Okay." And then later on, I talked to her. It's actually, I got this email that showed me that. I clicked on it thinking, "Oh, I get more information," and due to one click buy, I got it. So it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, I guess you're in.
So we're in for, I guess it's at least the 3 months at $5 a month.
Discovery.
And we are starting Discovery. And I the first couple, I had seen the first episode because they broadcast it on normal CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that, and it was like, I don't know if I like this. This is really not. This is different.
It even gets better as it goes along.
I know. Well, so the thing is, it's those first 3 or 4 episodes feel like they're trying to be really weird Star Trek, but now after that, it's beginning to turn into normal Star Trek again.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that.
That first season was the one where everybody was divided. The people that loved the first half of the season didn't like the second half, and the people that didn't like the first half loved the second half. So I think once you get through, from what I hear, once you get through that first season, then they kind of find their footing and they find the common ground, and then everybody's happy.
Right.
So
yeah, so we're watching it. It's whenever we feel like it, but we have 3 months to watch it. And Rabbit says that the Good Fight, and Not usually my kind of show, but I know that there's been lots of good episodes of The Good Wife, and this is the spinoff for that. And everybody's saying that this is really good. I'm recommending that people probably watch. My wife should probably watch that, is on her list of things to watch too. So I'll probably catch that tangibly in tandem. But yeah, those are the because we paid for it. I wasn't planning on it. we're starting out in Discovery.
All right.
Well, I remember the last thing.
Okay.
I fell down a video game rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
I replayed Portal all the way through for one. Finished one a while ago. Started to Portal 2. I had to finish Portal 2. That game is still awesome. Go play Portal 2. Okay, that's done.
All right. Well, last weekend, I was laid up, giving my back some much needed rest. And so I watched a lot of TV. And I watched a new series on Netflix called Another Life. Starring Katie Sackhoff, Battlestar Galactica, and Longmire. I like her.
I saw the trailer to that one.
I respect what they were trying to do. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't great. And it got to the point where I was like halfway through, and it wasn't getting better. But I got to the point where it's like, well, I just need to finish this, because otherwise it's going to sit in my queue and I'm never. I don't know what to say about it. It had so much potential, has some great people, some great characters, but they were written to do the stupidest things.
I hate it when that happens.
And it's like, and they do the whole space travel tropes, and they do like all of the predicaments that you like, let's say all of the predicaments that the Enterprise or any spaceship show get in through the entirety of their series, they accomplish in one season, one after another. And it's just like, and I mean, it had a weird, like, because it takes place on the ship and then also back at Earth. So she leaves. She's a spaceship lady. Her husband is a scientist. So her husband is still on Earth researching the alien thing, and she is out in space going to the alien planet. So it keeps jumping back and forth, and then their kid, is kind of left in the lurch, and that's a huge motivating factor for part of the story. But so, like, the episodes jump back and forth between Earth and, meanwhile, on the spaceship, and I don't know. It's one of those things, watch a couple episodes, see what you think. I like terrible sci-fi. Like, Stargate SG-1 is one of the greatest shows, in my opinion. It was campy. It was self-aware. Not at first, but later when they went to sci-fi and they embraced the fact that they were kind of cheesy, it was great. This was if every Bruce Campbell movie thought it was The Godfather. Wow. Pick any Bruce Campbell movie, and if it thinks it's super serious. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Did you see the Netflix movie called I Am Mother?
No,
I have not yet.
Yeah, that's a science fiction with Hilary Swank and some other young actress that I don't recognize her work yet, but probably because she's young and she's not done much yet. But But that one was it was pretty good. It's on Netflix. If you had, I don't know, try that one. It's just a movie. It's only like maybe an hour and a half or something like that, right? So try that.
That's
See
the
if you
one
like
where the girl
that
is
one.
raised by a robot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So that's.
All
I
right.
mean, it's kind of it's a little bit cheesy, but you know, if you're a science fiction fan, you know, you'll probably like it.
Very cool.
Cool. All right. Well, that should wrap things up. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, and thank everybody for tuning in. Extra special thanks to Wabbit Magic, who has taken on more responsibility. So not only is he putting the videos on YouTube, he's also posting the links in the chat. And if you're listening
Rock
to this
on.
after the fact or watching this after the fact, you can't click on those links. So to show that you appreciate what Wabbit has been doing, you should show up live.
Totally.
Participate. Then you get to put in titles, and you get to do fun stuff like say hey 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 as if you've been here the whole time. And yeah, we're live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. And for this, we are headed to the post show. Everybody stick around. Head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. Vote on your favorite title. And we will see you there. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.